See, and this is where like the timer is very helpful. Um, but I'm really getting abused. Wow, I'm really getting abused a lot. I mean, like prolonging my time, consuming my time. It can also be, it can actually. I probably want to say you can, right? You can also be hypnotized without your knowledge or recollection. Wow. Because I almost said consent again. That's the word that, because they've also, with the hypnosis, they did this with my friends' phone numbers too. Um, Mixing up the first three digits of one of my friends' phone numbers with the first three digits of a different friend's phone number. So then I wouldn't be able to call them. No, not only can you be hypnotized involuntarily, you can be hypnotized without your knowledge. And this is where, I mean, I could be being like forced to have to write it like this specifically instead of the way I wanted to. But I am recording it, so if I feel like I want to change that later, then I mean, I can, of course, right? And that's evidence of it. Because I'm saying that. You can be hypnotized without, or you can even be hypnotized. Ah, there we go. Of it ever happening. That's interesting that now all of a sudden I'm able to say that too. I remember it. You can even be hypnotized. There we go. That's another word because I'm trying to clarify like not only can it happen involuntarily, it can even happen without your knowledge or recollection afterwards. And I mean that's a big changing word in the sentence, right? In regards to articulation. And you can see how, like, okay, say for example, that's repressing my memory for like 10 minutes intentionally just to make me spend 10 more minutes doing it. Like, and then, also the facial expressions and everything along those lines. I describe in detail in the hypnosis, abuse, and speech inhibition video. So feel free to check that out. And I meant to write you can even, but I wrote B again. You can even be hypnotized. No, that's not good. That's not good. Be hypnotized without your knowledge or recollection. So, I mean, like, if we need to even enforce additional resources past just the laws that I'm talking about, I mean, I don't mind doing anything along those lines. I have thought thoroughly about this actually. Um, what I'm like, this is just really basics. I'm not going into like the complete detail. I will, however, elaborate. There's some medications that have been like, some I've seen some studies that have indicated, some medications can increase susceptibility. Now, this also is a variable because just based off of what hypnosis is, yes, it can. Yes, no, no, it can't. The answer is kind of both. So I mean, like it. For example, like say for example, medication could be more effective with certain types of different inductions than others. Uh, Also, the different hypnosis technique that you're using, like if it's Ericksonian or direct hypnosis. Um, and there's other ways besides just the hypnosis. I mean, just the medications that can help to, reverse post-hypnotic suggestions. And of course, adding an extra charge and felony for any seal. You could even add an extra seal. I mean, an extra felony or an extra count of a hypnotic seal for every post-hypnotic suggestion or hypnotic command they put in place with the seal. So what that means is, say for example, if somebody hypnotized you to laugh uncontrollably or cry uncontrollably when somebody said that word hypnosis, or in the context of being hypnotized, which, those are examples of hypnotic seals, or to swear, or whatever the case may be. Well, I mean, this is where, it would be really deterred, right? Because then, I mean, basically you're taking a small time offense, right? Or even a singular felony and turn it into 24, depending on how much they try to do with it, right? So basically, that way, they're digging their own grave the more that they do it. It's not a bad idea, to be honest with you, because it's kind of say, for example, with assault, right? Well, I mean, you could go into difference between assault and aggravated assault, or I mean, let's say, for example, there were 3 different incidents of assault, right? You're not going to just charge the person with one assault charge. Right? They're going to get a ticket for every single one. So, I mean, that is a literal example as well. Well, yeah, basically. And I mean, that alone, if you think about that though, that makes it a lot more scary. And it would limit how much a person would even want to do it. And then considering that they're limited in what they would be able to do without it turning into something 10 times worse, then I mean, that'll deter them from ever even trying it, because they're less likely to be able to get away with it. Because that's what I do. Right? That's what I'm trying to do. That's public safety. Without your knowledge or recollection of it. And this is where every single minute is being and I mean, this is I only wrote a page here, and I'm going into such great detail with it. This is ridiculous. Because I mean not such great detail. I mean, I'm not hardly even going into any detail. It took me so long to write that because of the hypnosis. And also it would distort my perception of time, which was really abusive. So anyways, we're going to move on to the next side here. That's 4. And I believe that's the last one. Oh, the moral code thing. I mean, that's what I meant by stealing versus having my hand cramp involuntarily while I'm writing the word murder. Okay, so the last one, you can't be hypnotized to do something against your will. And it's going to be nice to have this in a video, so then I don't have to keep explaining it. But I'm sorry to go off on such a huge tangent here. Oh, that's right. I need to clarify a homo action and a hetero action, because that's what was taught in my hypnosis course. And with that understanding of the concept, that implies a whole different realm of possibilities, right? Of actual understanding. And I mean, that even helps a lot more too. So, I mean, it's very simple. Hmm. Oh, also, there's another aspect for clarification. You're gonna have to watch the video on what hypnosis is, where I'm clarifying, what the critical factor is, or critical faculty, either one. So, this is where it depends on the person. Um, like literally, it really depends on the person. So there's that, and then there's also, sorry, the hypnosis is, you can't be hypnotized to do something against your will, and well, that was an example because that doesn't make sense. Oh, it depends on the person. It depends on the person, and it depends on what it is, right? So I mean, like, if you're able to get like somebody into somnambulism, I mean, I want to say there's probably less than a 1% chance you're ever gonna get anything less than you're not gonna be able to produce amnesia with it, right? Probably less than a 1% chance. And on the other side of that, there's probably less than a 1% chance that you'd be able to get that person to steal something. That's the idea. So I mean, like, there's a variable, and some people yes, some people no, and then some things yes, and some things no. But at the same time, it's kind of depending on the person. So like, and the situation as well. And I mean, that's what I mean by the hetero action and homo action, because that completely changes the concept. Where I've been hypnotized 8 different times by 8 different people who all collaborated together against me. Would it be easier to be believed if I just said 8 different people, but I mean 8 different times, but whatever. Anyways, you can't be hypnotized to do something. So that would build hetero action tremendously, right? Hetero action and homo action. It's conditioning, and well, I mean not just that, but also like seeing, kind of paying attention to how I'm responding to post-hypnotic suggestions that I already had, and then updating that, and kind of moving forward from there, and that's what they ended up doing to me. So I mean, yes, with repetition, yes. There's the hetero action and the homo action there. Sorry about that. Um, there we go. There we go. This depends on what it is. And it's less, by the way, I also want to point this out, it's less to do with morality. I mean, morality can have a factor in it. Like, say, for example, if you're using operant conditioning to condition a behavior, and I can also clarify that as well, so I probably will. That's operant conditioning, and that's in homo action and hetero action, right? So, for example, they would hypnotize me to feel dysphoria to try to deter me from doing something, or hypnotizing me to feel euphoria to keep me doing something, but it usually doesn't work. Um, Sometimes it would, sometimes it wouldn't, but like I'm pretty resistant about it, right? Um, Extremely resistant, actually, especially because I'm recording it. And I mean, you know, like that's also another aspect that has to be taken into consideration is hypnosis can be very noticeable. So, you know, like when, then a person would have to take precautions with it. And then if it's even more noticeable, the types of things that, you know, a person would do with that, right? Then, I mean, you have an idea. And I'm trying to make it as, you know, um, I'm trying to make it as um, risky as possible for as large of a risk as possible for a person to try to use it, wrongly or immorally. Because I know from personal experience, like literally. Um, so like yeah, I'm like this is kind of where like I mean we definitely want to proceed with trying to do a variety of different things. This could be including you know conducting the research on certain medications that can increase hypnotic susceptibility. And I mean, there would actually be two different types of studies that would have to be done with that as well. Just because, first, I mean, like, that would be even more helpful, right? Because the thing is, for example, like, tranquilizers are commonly known to, you know, be used to help increase susceptibility to hypnosis. So like that's true, yes. Although, hypnosis, like then this is what I mean by a seal, right? So hypnosis can actually inhibit the inhibition from those. Can inhibit the sedative effects from tranquilizers. So at the same time, I mean, like you have the one aspect. Okay, like this one would increase general susceptibility to hypnosis, and then we could even conduct experiments, right, to see how much hypnosis could resist a certain medication. Does that make sense? Because I mean, like, say for example, if like with blood pressure medication, even right. Well, I mean, hypnosis could be used to increase a person's blood pressure. So I mean, if that's all you have to do, right? Then I mean, it can resist a certain level of blood pressure medication, but eventually, right? If it's like an overdose of blood pressure medication, which luckily most of the time actually isn't fatal, by the way, it's not a good effective method of suicide, but I can definitely understand a lot of different feelings people would have about that. So, definitely seek the appropriate resources for that. And if, sorry, moving on, hypnosis doesn't like me to do that, right? Or doesn't want to allow me because I'm resisting it. You can't be hypnotized to do something against your will. That depends on what it is, and it depends on the person. This depends on the post-hypnotic suggestion or the command and the person. There we go. This depends on the post-hypnotic suggestion, which is like a hypnotic command. So I mean, like I did clarify that one aspect. Do I need to keep talking about that? Because I'm not 100% sure if I can remember what it was. Talking about medication. That's right. That's right. That's right. Sorry about that. So I mean, like the hypnosis definitely makes it very difficult. Um, Post-hypnotic suggestions or hypnotic command. Okay. So I mean, like, I wouldn't be surprised if genetics had a large role in hypnotic susceptibility, right? and the person, the individual. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Now moving on. The other things I was thinking about, I mean, the other things that we can possibly do, right? Well, I mean, of course, education is going to be a huge aspect of it, bringing public awareness to it. The news can be very helpful with that. We could do public service announcements, right? I mean, that's probably going to happen. And there's a lot of factors that really play into hypnosis that are very surprising, actually, too. Um, I mean, a lot of things that you might not necessarily originally think either, right? So, let's see. Just a second. Let's do that. Okay. On the hypnotic command or the okay, and it depends on the person. There we go. And then we're gonna go ahead and go with one more thing. Or maybe even two more. Because the more I articulate on this and the more thorough and detailed I am, the better, to be honest. But that's not a good thing because they're abusing me, right? All right, it's not a good thing. I'm not going to let it be a good thing. All right, there we go. There are two different concepts in hypnosis. Known as heteroaction and homoaction. And then I will also elaborate my specific example as well. I'm not going to forget that. But, let's see. So, heteroaction is I mean, you could even apply this to like a variety of different post-hypnotic suggestions, and of course, like I mean, it's kind of a principle, right? It's kind of like this is kind of the concept of like learning a skill or where I mean, it's not always going to be the most consistent, right? Like at the beginning, it's going to be much more like effective or much let me think if I can name any examples, right? So heteroaction is the increased chance of positive, I mean, we can even just say acceptance. Increased chance of the chance of or increasing, I can say, right? That's what this is hypnosis. This is hypnosis. Heteroaction is the chance of a suggestion or a command. Suggestion or a command and this is like the successful acceptance of a suggestion or a command or a response. I'll call it a successful response, I guess, is the chance of eliciting a successful response using a different wait, is the chance of eliciting. I also wrote, by the way, is the chance of eliciting a successful response. Oh, that's where I wrote you. Wow, so this is why the hypnosis would also limit how far ahead I'd be able to think too, because I mean they're kind of using this like a chess game, so that I can't, do too many things at once. Increasing a successful response to a suggestion of eliciting a successful response to a different suggestion to a new or different suggestion after successfully responding to one suggestion. This is abuse. That's what I mean. Like, it's only allowing me to think so many words ahead, even. Like, literally, wow. I mean, it's not allowing me to plan ahead. I need to break this. I need to break it. You can't be hypnotized to do something against your will. This depends on the post-hypnotic suggestion or hypnotic command. And that's what I mean. I got all tense because of the hypnosis. After successfully responding to a suggestion.